What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I hope all is well with you. Beautiful. Anyway, guys, you know that I've been talking a lot about what I've been noticing with writers and the entertainment, comic book, TV, movie space when it comes to marginalizing black people and always sticking us in the ghetto and the slums and the hoods and crime infested areas and stuff like that, and diminishing us basically. And you know, I used the example of the Wizard of Oz most recently, but I talked about Robin Hood as well, because I had a major revelation when I was talking about that, because when I was speaking to the director of Robin Hood, Director X, he was saying that, you know, they never really second guessed the decision to stick Robin Hood in the projects because it was a room full of black people. And I was like, wait a minute now. You mean to tell me we're doing this to ourselves? You know, this is something that I started to suspect a long time ago. You know, you kind of naively think that it's something that the man is doing. But then you realize that it's black creators that are doing this to ourselves, you know? So I'm going to keep on pointing this out wherever I see it, because whenever I see these questionable images, I say about these days 9, maybe 8.5 times out of 10, it turns out that it's black creators who are doing this or enabling it. So it's the least I can do to push back on that, to point it out to you guys, the buyers, the viewers. So the latest example that I have of this is Black Panther. You guys know that I've been talking about Black Panther and how I feel that it was wrong that they actually killed him on screen the way that the actor died in real life, with little to no regard to the millions of children around the globe who were finding inspiration from this character. You know, I felt that it was a major mistake. Everyone who was loving that image, who were loving that movie, probably inevitably got turned on to the comic. Maybe they went to their local comic book shop and wanted to see the further adventures of T'Challa, King T'Challa, as Black Panther. I know I took my son, and what did I find? I found something less than satisfying, I would say. And this latest example of what I'm talking about, and I saw this on Screen Rant, and I want to share it with you guys because it furthers what I was talking about, how we diminish ourselves, we diminish our images to bring us down to the lowest common denominator. So let's get into the headline here. And I saw this once again, I said it on screenrant.com. And the headline goes, "I am T'Challa, and I am so much more than my throne. Losing his crown made Black Panther a stronger hero." My. Losing his crown made him a stronger hero. Boy, I'm gonna have fun with this. It says here, after several issues of trying to discover his purpose since losing both Wakanda and his crown, the Black Panther finally understands who he is. T'Challa has finally settled into being a street hero. I told you, there it is. T'Challa has finally settled into being a street hero. T'Challa, yeah, you know T'Challa. He's for the streets. He's a street hero and can truly be a Black Panther, even without his crown. Ever since getting exiled from Wakanda and having his throne taken from underneath him. Now, I did some videos on that probably last year, you know, talking about that, the Ta-Nehisi Coates run on Black Panther, which I also found to be utter dog shit. T'Challa has struggled to define his identity. His persona was always so strongly tied to royalty that without it, he's been at a crossroads as far as what kind of Marvel hero he should be. Now T'Challa has found his purpose outside of being a king in Black Panther number 8 by Eve L. Ewing and company. Since the start of the series, T'Challa has been learning who he is without his crown while fighting crime in the city of Burnin' T'Chaka. Yeah, you heard right. The city is called Burnin' T'Chaka. Now, Burnin' is spelled Birnin. Burnin' T'Chaka. But guys, come on. It's like you couldn't come up with anything better than that. Burn, baby, burn. Burnin' T'Chaka. Burn, baby, burn. Burn T'Chaka down, baby. And that's what it is. Burnin' T'Chaka. While he's still donning the mantle of Black Panther, he's done it without any official sanction or without the vast resources of a king. It's been a struggle, but T'Challa has made strides towards finally figuring himself out. Now, why do they keep on saying that? He's finding out who he is. He's figuring himself out. He's finding himself. You would think that being as connected with his ancestors as the character of T'Challa is, he would know exactly who he is. You know what I mean? If anybody knows who he is, it would be T'Challa. Who's writing this stuff? Oh yeah, Eve L. Ewing. I don't know, guys. Where did they get this from? He's learning who he is, so he has to return to the streets to find out who he is. He has to run from the throne. While explaining what he's learned from his time in the city, T'Challa expresses the confidence he's gained from losing his crown. Losing his crown, it was taken from him, most disrespectfully. Closing out one self-discovery arc opens the door to so many new storylines for the Black Panther. T'Challa's final acts as king of Wakanda, including secretly maintaining a worldwide network of sleeper agents, were questionable enough that some would even compare T'Challa to the villain Killmonger. When everything caught up with him, the Black Panther was forcibly shunned from his nation and his kingship was revoked. He has since had to relocate to the crime-infested burning T'Chaka, where he's continued operating as a street-level Black Panther akin to Batman. Okay, alright, he's akin to Batman. Tell me something. When Bruce Wayne becomes Batman to fight crime on the streets of Gotham, does he still maintain Wayne Enterprises? Does he still maintain his lifestyle as a billionaire playboy? Does he give up everything that he is, all of his dignity, all of his standing in society as Bruce Wayne in order to fight crime as Batman? No, he doesn't. And you know the reasons why? Because it's a perfect cover for him to be. Actually, they say that his disguise is Bruce Wayne, and who he really is because of his trauma is Batman. This is not in equal comparison. So stop it. All right, trying to make Black Panther Marvel's Batman is some bullshit. It's a totally different thing. Bruce Wayne never had to give up his entire the facade of his life as a billionaire playboy in order to do what he does, the way they have made T'Challa have to give up his entire kingdom publicly. Following a skirmish with the mutant Monet St. Croix, T'Challa and his new Catwoman, there he goes. T'Challa, there they go again, he says, T'Challa and his new Catwoman-esque femme fatale friend, Natima, take a train back to burning T'Chaka. Listen, man. This conjures up images of burning crosses. Black people on burning crosses. T'Chaka on a burning cross. Burning T'Chaka. Come on, man. Put some thought into this. Why would you go there? Burning T'Chaka. It couldn't be something like Rising Sun T'Chaka or anything like that. It's got to be burning T'Chaka. Optics, man. To pass the time, the former king gives a monologue about what he's learned since taking residence in the city and how the experience has humbled him because, of course, he had to be taken down a peg or two. He had to be humbled. He couldn't be a proud king. No, it humbled him. Despite losing the resources, security, and the glory that came with being king, he feels stronger than ever. Everything he used to define him is no longer relevant, and he knows who he can be without it. I am T'Challa, and I am so much more than my throne, it says. The issue is a big step for T'Challa, as he is officially, successfully transitioned into being a street hero. A street hero. From a king to a street hero. He gave up, or they took away his kingdom, his whole kingdom, because he feels he can do more as a cop on the beat. A street hero. He's in the streets. As recently as the last issue, T'Challa was struggling with figuring out how to protect his city. Couldn't do that as a king. But as some self-reflection and discovering his city, he's able to advance both his superhero mission and his character development. Above all else, he closes his self-discovery arc that the series began with, which opens the door for new character-driven stories that aren't related to Wakanda. And of course, Wakanda is not related to Black Panther anymore. See how that works? Or the Black Panther's kingship, or lack thereof. Let me read that again. Above all else, he closes his self-discovery arc that the series began with, which opens the door for a new character-driven stories that aren't related to Wakanda or the Black Panther's kingship. And it has in parentheses, or lack thereof. Now that's the end of that article. So basically what it comes down to is T'Challa don't need no throne. He don't need no throne. What you talking about, Glorilla? No, I don't need no man. It's the same energy. And we keep falling for the same bullshit. Like when they told black women, you don't need no man. They told black men, you don't need no job. You can go out and hustle. They're telling this king, the very first black superhero in Marvel, a legendary character, he don't need no throne. And they're doing that in the movies too, because they had T'Challa make the decision that his son was going to be raised as a fucking bastard away from the throne with no training on how to be a king. You see the way they just wipe their ass with this lore, and everybody seems to have a hard time with it except those of us who are saying hashtag recast T'Challa, or in my case, hashtag reboot Black Panther. People are just going for this. They're going for the okey-doke for the bullshit like they always do. And it's only in looking back, years from now, that people will say, yeah, that was kind of fucked up, man. That was kind of fucked up what they did. But right now, we get shouted down. We get cussed out. We get called all types of names. But we're not going to stop, because those of us who have our eyes open for a change, who actually see it happening in real time, have a responsibility to speak to these creators who look like us. By the way, we can do better. We can be better. We shouldn't be ashamed to do that, to present that to the people. You took this rich character with decades of stories as a king away from that lore to lower him to the streets. Black Panther T'Challa is for the streets, like that thought, that hoe out there. He's for the streets, homie. Let him go. Let him be in the streets. Although he could do infinitely more as a beneficent king. He could actually hire people to fight crime on a street level. He can assign people to that. What's the matter with our imaginations? We can't see this. This man has to give up his kingdom. He has to be written this way. And of course, in the movies, he has to be killed. And everybody is saying, oh, you know, that's a pretty good story. Yo! Open up your eyes, man. But that's what I think. And guys, I just happened to see this article. I haven't even been reading the comic because, like I said, I can't stand what they're doing with any of these comics anymore, which is the reason why I promote and I push independent comic creators, because it's important that we remember our mission. It's important that we remember our inspiration and our passion. And I'm not sensing any of it here. It's just exploitation is what it is. But guys, you can get in the comment section and let me know what you think about all of this. As always, I really do appreciate you being here. I appreciate your support, your likes, and your shares. And of course, everyone who's been leaving super thanks, tips for, you know, whatever you feel that I bring into your life, entertainment, thought, laughs. I really do appreciate your generosity. All right, guys, I will catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on. Gotta be kidding me.